Hello, everyone. I'm here to do my top 10 favorite, saddest death scenes of the Dragon Ball franchise. In this case, the saddest deaths of the Dragon Ball franchise. And this is my own personal opinion on the list. And also, of course, rest in peace to the legend Akira Toriyama, who created the Dragon Ball series and and the manga. Um, let's start out with number 10 is the death of Krillin. The death of Krillin, even though the Krillin has died so many times, you know, in the franchise, but his first death, in OG Dragon Ball, it felt very more emotional at the time. And I liked how, when Goku has tears in his eyes, but angry still to find the person who killed Krillin. And boy, oh boy, he was angry as hell. He he told Bulma that to give him the Dragon Radar. Muten Roshi or Master Roshi tried to stop him, but Goku being angry, you know, was trying to find the individual person who killed his best friend, his buddy Krillin at the time. Um, and it felt very, very emotional and very powerful too. And that's why that Krillin is also, the death of Krillin's on the list on number 10 spot. But it was pretty damn sad and probably my favorite Krillin deaths ever. My honest opinion. Now let's start out, and then number 9 on the list would have to be the death of Ten Shin Han. Now, the death of Ten Shin Han, or Tien in the dub, it felt very, I don't know, it felt very sad because Ten Shin Han was trying his very best against Nappa, and he was trying to, try to do everything that he can, you know. Obviously, Nappa, you know, punches, well, punch his arm off, no pun intended, and his buddy, Chaozu, Ten Shin Han's friend, Chaozu, did everything, even though that, yeah, we all know that Chaozu is the most useless character of the franchise. But yet Chaozu sacrificed himself to blow himself up against Nappa, but it turns out it didn't really work, you know. And I also like how the rest of the Z fighters, um, Piccolo and Krillin, they did their very best to buy him some time, and Gohan, being a coward that he is at the time, you know, Gohan didn't want to fight, or in this case, to beat Nappa. And then we get to see Ten Shinhan using the Kikoho, aka the Tri-Beam, and, well, he used it against Nappa to sacrifice himself, but it didn't work because Nappa blocked it. And, well, and after that, well, Ten Shinhan died at the very end. If Nappa didn't see it coming, I do believe that Ten Shinhan would have killed Nappa. He would have killed him here and there. And obviously, Ten Shinhan would have been dead anyway, but yeah. But yeah, it was very emotional scene, in my opinion. And yeah. Number 8 on the list would have to be the death of Goku. During the Saiyan saga. The death of Goku was just, I don't know, everybody hasn't talked about it that much, and at the time, we thought that, well, Goku was not going to be going to be there anymore. But then it turns out, obviously, Goku is in the afterlife, and Kaio's, meeting with Kami, and then telling about Kaio-sama, King Kai, to train him when the Saiyans were going to arrive. And yeah, I also like the moment when, like, Goku, sacrificed himself to let Goku use the Makanku Sapo, aka the Special Beam Cannon, against Raditz. And man, oh man, it was one of the most graphic scenes in Dragon Ball history. But a bit off topic, it was very emotional as well. And yeah. Coming in at number 7 on the list is the death of Piccolo. Piccolo, ever since before then, Piccolo, was sort of the anti-hero at the time. Piccolo didn't want it to... He didn't really care. He just wanted to train Gohan for the Saiyans to arrive. But at that moment, when Piccolo sacrificed himself against... Well, to save Gohan, it actually shows that Piccolo has feelings for Gohan. Because before it happened, Piccolo was on the side of evil still. Well, sort of. As I said before, he didn't really give a shit. But then when he bonded, training with Gohan, it actually softened up a bit. And even when he sacrificed himself, Piccolo was, changed a lot. And, yeah. And he died right then and there. Now, number 6 on the list is the death of Future Gohan. It's pretty interesting, and more specifically in the anime, because in the anime version, Future Gohan did his very best against the androids, and he was fighting with them using his one arm against the androids, and it felt very very had like the balls moved to do it, to fight off against the androids, and again, like I said before, he tried his very best, and he kind of sacrificed himself because he wanted Trunks to carry out to defeat the androids and to fight another day. And even when you're watching the death of Future Gohan in the anime, and even if you're watching it in the American soundtrack version, even though I'm not a fan of the American soundtrack version of the DBZ, the soundtrack feels a very, very emotional soundtrack. Because, Gohan, he lived by the sword and he died by the sword. And, Trunks, at this very moment, he went, well, Super Saiyan when Gohan died. Now, in the anime version, Gohan, it was very different. Android 17 was the one to kill Gohan in the manga. It's implied that 17 was not using his... I think it was like 15% of his power. Correct me in the comments sections. And Gohan was shocked and 17 was the one who killed Gohan. But in the anime, as I said before, both of the androids killed him. And yeah, it felt very powerful. And yeah. Number 5 on the list is the death of Master Roshi. Master Roshi, he was and obviously in early in OG Dragon Ball, but anyways, Roshi, did what he can against Piccolo Daimao, and I like how he was using the Mafuba or the Mafuba or whatever you want to call it, or in this case, Evil Containment in the dub, against against Piccolo Daima, and well, it he sacrificed himself for every to get Piccolo Daima, but unfortunately, the Mafuba failed, and Master Roshi, died because he was using too much power against Piccolo Daima with the Mafuba. And here and there, and then he died. And yeah. Now, number 4 on the list is the death of Goku's sacrifice. During the Cell games, or in this case, the Android/Cell saga. This was the best thing that Goku ever done in the franchise. When Cell was about to self-destruct himself, Goku used the instant transmission, instantaneous movement, and he did what he needed to do to protect his loved ones and to save Gohan. If Goku didn't use the instant transmission, the Earth would have been doomed. And luckily, Goku used the instant transmission, teleported to Kaiosama's planet, and Cell destroyed him. Self-destructed and destroyed Kaiosama's planet and, Goku, of course. And, it's a very interesting, death, and that's why it's also, on this list, because Goku did what he had to do to save the Z Fighters and planet Earth at that time during the end of the Android saga. Number 3 on the list is the death of Bardock. Now, I don't care which version of Bardock you're watching, the special or the Bardock Father of Goku special, or the Dragon Ball Super Broly, or even if you're watching the specials with the dub or in the Japanese, both of them are very emotional. And I liked how, Bardock went in there and he wanted to fight Frieza, and obviously, it was kind of a dumb thing to do, but regardless, though, he wanted to save Planet Vegeta, and he wanted to do that, but unfortunately, when Frieza used the Death Ball, Planet Vegeta and Bardock exploded. And even in the aftermath of the Bardock Father of Goku special, I liked when they played the Light of Hope, I think that's what it's called. And every time that when I hear that song, I get a little bit sad because it's very emotional. And also, since Bardock is my third favorite character in the franchise, Bardock, it is pretty sad to see, a character getting himself killed. Even though that, yeah, the Saiyans were pricks, and even Bardock was a prick himself because, well, Goku's power in the special, of course, not in the Broly film or in Dragon Ball Minus, but in the older special, well, in the special, Bardock, well, was saying that, oh, Kakarot's a power level of 2. What a waste of time. Yeah. And yeah, it's basically, you know, but regardless though, Bardock was still a very interesting character, and it doesn't matter which version you're watching, you know, Bardock did what he did, but of course he failed. And number 2 on the list is the death of Vegeta in the Namek Saga. And I remember watching this as a kid, and I actually kind of cried, you know, because Vegeta suffered a lot, you know, and Frieza basically used him, you know, all this entire time. And, I also like how Vegeta gave him the speech against, Goku when he was about to die at the hands of, when Frieza killed him. And we even see Vegeta in tears, back then, and told Goku about the extinction of the Saiyans, that it wasn't an asteroid who killed the Saiyans or planet Vegeta, it was Frieza that killed him. Well, that destroyed the entire planet. And it was very powerful too. Seeing that, Vegeta and the 2 surviving Saiyans were kind of basically like slaves doing the duty work, And that's why it's in my second list. Now, number 1, and a lot of fans actually like this, and even I did too, and that is the death of Vegeta in the Buu saga, sacrificing himself against Buu. The reason why I rank this to be number 1 is because I liked how the emotional moment, the moment when Vegeta said that he was going to do it, like, that Vegeta was going to sacrifice himself. And it also, because before even this moment, before that, like, when Vegeta was was hugging Trunks, he said that this was the first time, Vegeta said that he's never hugged Trunks since Trunks was a baby. And, well, he hugged Trunks. And I also liked the other moment when Piccolo and Vegeta were having like a conversation about, about his sacrifice, and about like Vegeta being in the afterlife, and, well, it turns out that Goku's not going to meet Vegeta in the afterlife, of course. And it just felt very sad. Even though the Vegeta failed, he did really his best as well. And, well, it just felt very sad because all his entire life, Vegeta wanted to fight was always a selfish person, fighting other people, fighting other than himself. Caring about himself, but now he cares about Trunks, Bulma, and even Kakarot. You know? And it felt very, I don't know, very sad. You know? And it doesn't really matter which version you're watching, both Kai, the Falconer soundtrack, or even the Japanese soundtrack, you know, it is very sad. And I also like the other moment was when Vegeta was in a was in the was in a stone like this, and the show that, well, Vegeta sacrificed himself, and, well, he turned to stone, and then he fell in the ground and disappeared. That's why personally, this is my favorite death moment of the entire franchise. But let me know in the comments, what is your favorite Dragon Ball death scene? I would like to know in the comments.